certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankin. It's going to be a fun one today. We're talking about the top 12 movies that won Best Ensemble at SAG Awards, and got a lot of great choices to choose from. And it's when I found out the SAG Awards have only been around since mid-90s. I thought they were around much longer, but got a great one here. We've got Chad here. Chad, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great. And with this topic, I think we're guaranteed to mostly talk about like great movies. So I'm excited for this one.
Also, we've got Jacob Barber. Jacob, how's it going?
It's going well, yeah. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to talk about these movies. A lot of good movies. Some that I absolutely love, and I'm excited to talk about. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun topic for sure.
We may or may not have one person join us at some stage of the show, but we'll get going with these three for now. But Chad, we're going to go to you first. What is the first movie you're going to bring up?
It's actually really difficult because there are so many great ones. But luckily, we have 12 spots, so 12 great movies. I'm going to throw out one that won very recently, and then it ended up being kind of like a dark horse to win Best Picture, and then it won Best Picture. I'll go with Coda, just because I adore Coda. I don't understand like a lot of the people that kind of turned on it after it won, just because it's not your average like Best Picture. It's just kind of like a really sweet movie. But what this film actually managed to accomplish is to make me cry at least twice every single time I watch it. So I think it just has great performances. Troy Kotsur won an award for it. It was a truly incredible performance. I think it's just about something like really special, like a type of, person that doesn't normally get a lot of like coverage and media and stuff. It's just like the families of like deaf people. I don't know. I just think it's really, really sweet and a lot of good music. I adore like the scenes at the end, particularly at the pickup truck and at the audition. So I think this movie's incredible. Coda.
Jacob, what do you say about Coda?
Yeah, it's funny. If Chad didn't bring this up, this was going to be my first nomination because I wasn't sure how this one was going to go. I absolutely love this movie. I think, when it won Best Picture, I was pleasantly surprised. I was very happy because I think it was well deserved. It was definitely my favorite movie of the year, and I was glad to see it win Ensemble as well. I think everyone's putting in a great performance. Troy Kotsur is absolutely the standout. I think he is incredible, and like Chad said, it's a very sweet movie. There's some very sweet moments. And it's just such an easy watch too. It breezes by. I wish that it was available on physical media because I would absolutely own this movie. I think it's great. And I'm kind of glad there's only three of us because now it has a much better chance of making it than if a couple other people were here because I know they, behind the scenes we talked and this one was a blind spot for a few people. So I'm glad there's only three of us and it gets a chance to make the list now.
I love Coda. I think Coda is great, and look, it's one of those ones like this is one of those ones that like because I think this may have been the smallest ensemble to win ensemble at the SAG. Because it's one of those ones like when I think of ensemble, I would generally think of all these big casts of lots of well-known actors. I generally sort of don't think so much of these like this small on the smaller scale. Because like I know Troy Cox is probably somewhat known around there, but I didn't really know much about him before this movie. So I think he's appeared in like an episode of Mandalorian at one stage. Yeah, but I love her. I think it's a really sweet movie, and I was going to see yes to it anyway, so it's going to make the list. Jacob, we're going to go to you next. What is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Yeah, well, now that I don't have to bring that one up, I'll bring another one up that I'm not sure how it's going to go, and that's the Trial of the Chicago 7. I think the Trial of the Chicago 7 was a fantastic movie. I think it was one of the bright spots of 2020. When film kind of took a backseat because he's decided to take over the world instead. I think it's a fantastic movie. I love all the performances here. I think Sacha Baron Cohen is incredible. Joseph Gordon-Levitt gives a great performance. Michael Keaton is a standout. I love the story. I love like the flashbacks between like the trial and then like the actual events. I thought it was edited really well. I thought there was some great dialogue here. I absolutely love this movie. It's not one that I go back to very often. I don't know how high up on the list I would put it, but it is one of my 12, and I wanted to like shoot my shot early and give it the best chance.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to watch Trial of Chicago 7 in ages, but I do remember really loving this movie. And, it's one of those ones I've been meaning to get to again, but I just have never found the time or fit it in the like first time watches I want to fit in for whatever topic I'm doing in whatever week. But yeah, I remember loving it, and when I ranked this, did end up quite a little bit quite high on my list. So I'm going to say yes to Trial of the Chicago 7. Chad, what do you say about Trial of the Chicago 7?
Yeah, I don't know. Since you two both said yes, I don't know if like my thing. Oh, well, now JPO's here to add an opinion. But for me, I don't love the Trial of Chicago 7. I remember like the first time I saw it, I liked it, and then I saw it a second time, and then I remember ranking it like very low as far as like the best pictures of like that year. And I was just like, I don't know if this one is really that good. Although it has been a while since I've seen it, so I could like rewatch it and see it like go up, in my my opinion. But for now, it's actually because I did rank all of the ensemble ones, and I just had like the ones I hadn't seen like at the very bottom. But this one still ranked like pretty low for me. But you never know. One day it could get better. But I would give it a slight no. But it would be fine if it made the list. It's not like a bad movie.
JPO, what do you say about the Trial of the Chicago 7?
I will also say, for anyone watching, if you want to take a nap before rank them, do it. Just set an alarm because you might wake up 15 minutes late with Drew on your shirt going, "Oh fuck, what time is it?" So yeah, just food for thought. I think the movie's great. It was one of my favorite movies of that year. I love. I'm probably gonna say this for everyone. I love an ensemble cast. That's why I was excited for this episode here because I'm a sucker for performances in general. So when you're given literally a dozen of them, and you're giving me JGL and Borat and the guy from Aquaman, Abdul Mateen, and Frank Langella, and Jeremy Strong's really good. Like I'm a sucker for it. I'm a sucker for courtroom drama. It's in my 12. It's a yes.
And that Trial of Chicago 7 is going to make the list. You didn't miss much, JPO. Like the only other one that's made the list so far was Coda.
Okay, I'm gonna say no. Is it too late?
Too late. It's already made the list.
I mean, I would have made the list without but anyway.
Oh, good.
But anyway, JPO, you came in just in time because we're going to you. What is the first movie you're going to bring up?
Was there anything else said no to?
No, those are the only two movies that have been talked about.
Okay,
so
cool. Just checking. Excuse me. Let's go. Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. First, I'm going to give a big thumbs up to Chad because I can see on his face that he's going to say no. No, these movies are fantastic. This is a great capper to a trilogy here. I know I bow to no one. He's there with the Hobbits. Everyone's killing it here. I mean, some of these people never got to work again. Billy Boyd, I miss you wherever you are. Ledgerwood was able to continue to work. He was in a little movie, 4 that I liked. But yeah, I think it's a click, a great ensemble cast. What's that noise?
It might have just been me typing on my laptop. I don't know why. My microphone picks up for some reason. I don't know what it does. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to say about this. Like, obviously, I'm a big Lord of the Rings hater and all that. But no, just kidding. Like, I love Lord of the Rings. Like, I think it's great. And yeah, I've said a lot about this. This was going to be my first one, which it's kind of saved me and I'm now going to pick something else. But Chad, what do you say about Lord of the Rings: Return of the King?
No, I'm not going to say no to. Oh, where'd he go? I'm not going to say
He's
no
just
to
going to spin off.
Lord of the Rings here. Of course not. It's an incredible trilogy just overall. But even just this movie, like it won so many awards. It deserved, I think, all of them. Yeah, it's just an incredible movie. It really gets you in the feels. It's an incredible like capper to an adventure. So many like arcs come to a close. It's just really like not many movies get more epic than this. And then everybody just wants to watch the extended version of it because they just want more and more of these movies. So and this one just was a great finish. I just love the them doing the ring, and then Frodo going off, and just really 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 emotional. And then everybody kneeling or whatever to the hobbits is just such a great like cinematic moment. So yeah, this is an incredible movie, so of course I'm gonna say yes.
Jacob, what do you say about Lord of the Rings: Return of the King?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say no to this either. It's a great end to the trilogy here, very tight trilogy. If you would have told me that the other two also won ensemble, I would have believed you. Unfortunately, they didn't, but this one did, and I think it's fitting. Um, Also, fun fact: this was the only SAG award that it was nominated for, so it is 100% at the SAG. No other nominations, which is a shame because I think there's a lot of good performances in here. But regardless, I think it is one of the best ensembles that we have, and yeah, I'm not surprised that this is making the list.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those ones. I think, especially with Return of the King, I think with the way this story is structured, I think it's just one of those ones like who do you put in for the lead, who's supporting, like
Right.
so it's because like there's I'm pretty I'm pretty sure Ian McKellen's nominated for an acting award at the Oscars for one of the Lord of the Rings. I think he was in supporting those. So but yeah. But moving on to me, what? I'm going to bring up this one. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how other people feel about this movie. Chad might get where I'm going with this because I was on that year of picture list. I'm bringing up Shakespeare in Love. Look, say what you want about this movie. Like, I feel this movie gets too much hate just because it beat Saving Private Ryan at the Oscars for Best Picture. I argue that it was really deserving of Best Picture. I think it's a great movie. I think it's got a great cast of You got like people like Ben Affleck, Joseph Fiennes, and there, Judi Dench, and it's just one of those movies that I go back to a lot. And I think it's just a lot of fun. It's like just seeing like a kind of pseudo Romeo and Juliet type adaptation, but not. But Chad, what do you say about Shakespeare in Love?
Yeah, Shakespeare in Love, I really enjoy. It gets so much hate just because it beats Saving Private Ryan. I understand like the whole controversy as far as like campaigning and all that stuff is just a whole different conversation. But the quality of the movie is actually pretty good. I think it's just a really great like romantic comedy film. And since we're talking about like SAG ensemble, I think this one has a pretty incredible one, and I love Gwyneth Paltrow in it, and just a lot of people, just a lot of big names just pop up. Even like Ben Affleck pops up in it. It's actually in my ranking. It's just outside of my 12. It's number 13. But I'm actually would be fine with this one making it in, just because I do think it is hated on so much that I like to kind of prop it up a little bit more when I, given a chance, when I'm like not like debating against it or whatever. And then so yeah, I don't know how this will do with the rest of the panel, but I do enjoy this one. I think it's a very good movie, so I'll say yes.
Jacob, what do you say about Shakespeare in Love?
I have not seen it.
I'm not sure if JPO's there. I didn't. JPO, what do you say about Shakespeare in Love?
I agree. Well, it doesn't deserve the hate. It's not better than Saving Private Ryan, and it also doesn't belong on the list. So no.
Can't believe you said no to a Ben Affleck movie.
I know. I figured someone was gonna play that against me. Sorry, Ben.
But that Shakespeare in Love isn't going to make the list. Chad, we've got to go back to you.
All right, back to me. All right, so all right. I feel like I have to go with it. I've been praising this movie in certain channels, and Malcolm and I actually like argued about it recently. But I'm gonna go ahead for Chicago. I have at one point said it might be the best like movie musical ever. I might have been a little bit exaggerating a bit because there's so many great ones out there. But I do think this film is incredible, and especially with the cast. I think the cast is what really, really, really works for it. But yeah, I just love the style of it, the editing, the direction of it, where it's just it's a really deep drama with some comedy and stuff in it, but it also has the hyper musical elements to it, where they have the straight up like what's happening in the real world, but then they have it mirrored with what's going on in this big dreamlike cabaret kind of style of performing and stuff. And like Cell Block Tango is one of the best musical scenes ever, and yeah, it's really just an incredibly made movie. And it's one where when I went to watch it against the Two Towers, I was like, how is it going to beat the Two Towers? And honestly, I just think it's that good that it's just like you really had to give it to this one. So yeah, Chicago rules.
Jacob, what do you say about Chicago?
So I was able to fill 3 blind spots this week, and this was one of them. And I really liked this movie. I thought it was great. Yeah, I thought there was a lot of good performances. I thought the musical numbers were fantastic. I like the way, like Chad said, kind of mirroring the real life situations going on with the musical numbers. I thought was fantastic. I think there's some really great performances. The dialogue, the script is really good. However, I am still gonna say no, just because this was my first watch, and I don't know if I like it enough over these movies that I've seen several times. So I'm sure on rewatches it might bump up, but I've just seen every other movie that I have above it. I have seen multiple times, and I absolutely love. So yeah, I still gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought this movie was fantastic. I just think there's a lot of good movies on this list.
JPO, what do you say about Chicago?
Well, I'm glad you made time for it, even though it seems like it doesn't matter that you made time for it, because it wasn't going to make it anyway. I'm not always a musical guy, but I am 1,000% a Chicago guy. I love this movie. I legitimately was looking up tickets tonight. One of my local theaters is doing showings, and I was like, "Oh shit, really, Chicago? Let's see, when am I gonna go?" I've done it once already. It's great. By the way, if it's ever playing near you, check it out, because it snaps. It's great. I love it. Do I sometimes turn on Mr. Cellophane in this room and wonder if my roommates are mad that I'm singing it out loud? Maybe. It's a yes.
Yeah, for me, Chicago looks like a great city to visit. Like some of my best friends live in Chicago, and that. But
you go to Gary, Indiana. That's all I can say to you.
I wasn't planning on that.
Nobody plans on it unless you're looking to die.
But no, when it comes to the musicals, like I like the musical. Like I don't hate it. Like, but it's just I'm just gonna say no because I like everything else that is on this list more. So,
Damn it.
so unfortunately, Chicago is not going to make the list. We're going to go to Jacob.
Give him the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle.
All right, I think I'm gonna go with another one that I think is an obvious pick. JPO doesn't care. No, I'm gonna go with.
I wasn't ready. I'm still getting ready. I will be set up in a moment.
I'm gonna go with Parasite. I think Parasite is a fantastic movie. I love the story here. I love like it almost like two different genres. It kind of switches like halfway through, and I think it's just fantastic. I think this movie, it took the world by storm, and I think it deserved all the love that it got. Becoming the first foreign movie or international movie to win Best Picture, and to win the SAG Ensemble. I think it's well deserved. I think there's a lot of good performances here. I love the dialogue. I love the script. I love the direction. I love everything about this movie. I think it's fantastic. I think Parasite deserves to be on the list.
JPO, what do you say about Parasite?
I want to say no because Jacob turned down Chicago, but unfortunately named a top fiver for me here in the Parasite. Yeah, it's a great movie, and you kind of know it is because it's one of those word of mouth movies here. It's probably something I wouldn't have gone to if it wasn't for the fact that it was nominated by all the major awards. All the friends saw it. Everyone in the community was seeing it. So it's just one of those where like, okay, you're obviously going to make time for it here. And it's also one of those rare times, too, that, like, it lives up to the hype. Like, even knowing it's, like, a 12-time winner from this, and this category, I still think it lives up to the hype. It's a great movie. So, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like those that know me, like, know that I'm not a big foreign language guy, so like I didn't watch how it says. I did watch this, like I have seen it. I do like it enough, but once again, this ended up lower than what I thought it might have been. There's some movies I saw on the list, like I don't think that either that I don't remember seeing, or like I don't think it ends up as high as it was. But it's this similar to Chicago. I do like it, but unfortunately there's just others I like more that. But Chad, what do you say about Parasite?
Yeah, no, I'm on everyone else's wavelength. I adore Parasite. I think it's just incredible. I mean, yeah, like people have been saying, it's one that like broke into the mainstream. Like, it's kind of like RRR did in that way, where it's like, guys, these like foreign movies have been a thing for a very long time, right? But like Parasite was the one that was like everyone, even like regular people who aren't cinephiles, were like, I have to go see what this Parasite movie is. People say it's crazy, and it really is. Like Jacob was saying, it like changes genre so many times, and just has like kind of everything to offer. But it's really just like the story of like low class versus high class, and I think it just tells that story so well in such a really fun way. It's funny, it's sad, it's scary, it's like everything in between, and it's just really just one hell of a film. So yeah, I'm high on Parasite's wavelength. I do think it's one of the best movies like ever. So yeah, for sure.
That Parasite is going to make the list, and we go back to JPO. If he's there.
I swear, I'm going to be ready in a minute. All right.
I know.
Inglorious Bastards. Inglorious Bastards. Quentin Tarantino is always a king of ensemble movies here. This is no different here. Even from cameos that sometimes people forget, like Mike Myers and whatnot. But like the main set, I mean, hell, even Eli Roth is enjoyable to watch, and that's not a sentence I say often. But yeah, Brad Pitt's great. One of the first times we see Michael Fassbender absolutely kill it here. I love the fact that like as he's writing, he's like, "Whoa, what do we do on Hitler? Oh wait, it's my movie. Let's fucking kill him. Why not?" Like it's also just really fun and inventive. So yeah, Bastards, CERDS, Bastards.
For a second, I thought JB just popped in to call us all glorious bastards. No.
Wouldn't be the first time.
But no, yeah, I do quite like Inglourious Basterds. It probably is like my favorite Tarantino at the moment. But like just compared to this like pool that we've got, like I do like it. It's just not as high as I thought it was going to be. But I'm going to give it a slight no. But Chad, what do you say about Inglourious Basterds?
Yeah, I'm not going to say no to Inglorious Bastards. I think this movie is also incredible. I don't love Quentin Tarantino as like just a dude, but his films are just incredible. I think pretty much every single one is just really good on some level, and this is kind of like showed like a kind of shift for him. I feel like into just a different type of filmmaking. Um, and especially with the whole history revisionist history type of thing where he's like, you know what, I'm just going to kill Hitler, why not, kind of a deal. And then you just making uh people like just applaud in the theater for like doing stuff like that, and doing kind of the unexpected, but also it's just such a well written movie. Like the opening scene at the farm or whatever is like one of like the greatest scenes ever. Just written, directed, just all of that stuff. And then you got Brad Pitt going, I speak the best most Italian, buongiorno. It's just incredibly funny. You have like these like incredibly like well paced scenes that just are kind of slow for a little while, but what they build to is something incredible. And yeah, it's just an incredible movie. So this was a great choice. Where did I rank this? I had this at like number 8. I guess kind of low, but still, it's incredible.
Jacob, what do you say about Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah, like I was saying with Chicago, I watched 3 movies this week, and Inglorious Bastards was one of them. But unlike Chicago, I loved this movie, and it actually crept into my top 12. I thought this movie was incredible. Yeah, that opening scene is fantastic with Christoph Waltz on the farm. Fantastic performance, probably like my favorite performance of his now. Brad Pitt was fantastic. Yeah, it's got some good comedy. It's got some good drama. Yeah, there's just a lot of good dialogue. Quentin Tarantino just knows how to make a movie. I don't know where this like would rank in my Tarantino rankings. I'm still filling in some blind spots. But I haven't seen a bad Tarantino movie yet. They've all been great so far. I think he got some good performances here. Some great performances. Yeah, like JPO said, Eli Roth was really good, and that's not something you say about about his performances a lot of times. So I'm gonna say yes. I loved this movie. It'll be in rotation.
That Inglourious Basterds is going to make the list. It's back to me, and there's a few that I'm pretty sure will come up eventually. But I'm going to go for one. It was the very first SAG Ensemble winner, going all the way to 1995, and that's Apollo 13. I actually just recently watched Apollo 13 for the first time this year, and it's one. No, it was either this year or last year that I watched Apollo 13, but I think Apollo 13 is great because like you've got the great cast like Kevin Bacon, Tom Hanks, like Ed Harris, Bill Paxton in there, and it's just one of those ones. It's a really good sort of take on this like getting to the moon and all that, and I just think it's just really well done. So Chad, what do you say about Apollo 13?
This one's interesting. I think this is kind of like for how Chicago was for Jacob, where it's like, I mean, I haven't seen it recently like he did with that one, but it's one that's kind of good sizably outside of my 12, but it's like, not like that lowly ranked. It's just one I don't remember that well, but I feel like I've seen it twice, and I feel like it is a good movie, but it's just because there's like people have been saying there's so many great ones on the list that I personally would rank a lot higher than this one as of now, without having seen Apollo 13 recently. I'm gonna give it a slight no, but it would be fine if it made it on the list.
Jacob, what do you say about Apollo 13?
I was not able to get to it this week, so unfortunately, I have not seen it.
JPO, what would you have said about Apollo 13? You're muted.
I thought y'all could read lips. I'm similar-ish to Chad in the vein that, like, it's been a minute, so maybe a rewatch could bump it up, but right now it's outside of my 12. It still is, so I'm going to say no. Just no.
Good, but Chad, we're going to go to you next. What is your next nomination?
Okay, I'm gonna go with I don't know how the panel feels about this, but it's one I really love. I'm gonna go with American Beauty. This won Best Picture as well. I think it's an incredible movie. I know there's one actor that is canceled, and that's a thing, but I think the movie and the performances and the editing and the God bless you, Carrie, and the direction and just everything that goes into this movie is a really incredible. Correct. JPO said Gesundheit. Is really incredible film. I watched it recently, and I just every single time I watch this one, like I forget just how good it is or great it is, really. And I watch it, and it just kind of blows me away. I just love the journey of the family. I love like what it says about just kind of like finding your standing in life, and just body image, and just like finding beauty and like mundane things, and how society is fake and stuff like that. And I really think it just is incredible. So I'll shoot my shot for this one. I think it's a great movie.
Jacob, what do you say about American Beauty?
Well, much how Chad and JPO were with Apollo 13, that's how I am here with American Beauty. I think it's a really good movie. It's just been a while since I've seen it. And every movie that I have in my 12, like they're movies that I've seen multiple times, and I go back and I rewatch. I do remember really enjoying this. I like the performances. I am due for a rewatch. I think, despite He Who Must Not Be Named, I still think he's giving a good performance, and separate the art from the artist. I think he's still really good. So unfortunately, I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm gonna say no. But it's not a bad movie.
JPO, what do you say about American Beauty?
Again, no movie here is really bad. Like, even the last thing on my list is a movie I still recommend. But this is also just a few spots off for me. So I'm not. It's another kind of like slight no.
But I'm kind of in the same thing. I like American Beauty. I think it's great. It's just like didn't sneak into like really high up for me. So American Beauty is not going to make the list. We're going to go over to Jacob Barber. What are you going to bring up?
Oh, you didn't send my last name. I'm gonna go. I'll go with No Country for Old Men. I think No Country for Old Men is a fantastic movie. I think you're getting some really great performances here. I think Javier Bardem absolutely kills it with his performance. Just such an unsettling villain. Josh Brolin is fantastic. Woody Harrelson, Tommy Lee Jones. I think everyone's absolutely bringing it. It's wonderfully directed. And so, I'll see how No Country for Old Men goes.
JPO, what do you say about No Country for Old Men?
I know in some circles this would be like a instant high yes. I have a couple script issues with this movie here that's always kind of taken it out of like my high next level. So it's another one that is just right outside of my list. So it's a no.
But I sent a quick message to Chris Scott. This was his response.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
But no, I'm a little nicer to it because I do like No Country for Old Men. I do get like all the scriptures that people like today people swing about. But once again, just like everything else I've kind of said no to. Is like I like the movie. It's just not as high on my list as others. But and Chad, what would you have said about No Country for Old Men?
Yeah, I don't have it as like one of the greatest movies ever made or anything like that. But I think it is like really high ranked in my Coens. I do think it deserved its wins and stuff like that. I have it actually at number 11 in my ranking, so it makes the list for me. Even though I'm not like I don't praise it all the time, I do think it's doing something really special. And if you look at that cast, I think it's just incredible. One of the all-time villains in like movie history. And I am surprised every time I watched it, like just how good it actually is. And I think the slowness of it is really, really kind of good. Like I like how it just takes its time and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a really good movie. I'll say yes.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's not going to make the list.
Whoa.
Go to you.
That's my number 2.
Oh, I know how I feel about Chicago. But hey, speaking of number 2, what's another good number after 2? 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. 100%. I think belongs here. First of all, speaking of just really good directors like Quentin Tarantino, what's his face? Martin McDonough. I don't think he has made a bad movie yet. And another one that also he's really good at getting these eclectic cats together. 7 Psychopaths. This is a great example as well here. Sam Rockwell, Woody Harrelson, Peter Dinklage. This is all just off the top of the head. Francis McDormand. So everyone, like I said, even smaller parts like Peter Dinklage. Yeah, get it, smaller parts like Peter Dinklage. Anyway, it's a really good movie. It changes, concepts. It shows you, a character can grow. The Sam Rockwell character is a real piece of shit, but even he kind of grows a little bit. What that one? Redheaded X-Men's really good in it. So yeah, Caleb Landry Jones. So yeah, fantastic film.
Yeah. I like people, but I like Three Billboards Outside Ebbing. I actually completely forgot Peter Dinklage was in the movie. I'm not gonna lie. But
it's a small role.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, but I think the movie's great, and yes, I'm going to give it a slight yes. Chad, what do you say about Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri?
Yeah, I'm a pretty big Martin McDonough fan. I like everything that I've seen from him. And I think in Bruges should have been on there on the SAG thing because I think that's even better. But yeah, I think Three Billboards rules, like especially with the SAG like ensemble, like the acting is pretty incredible. And yeah, it's just one that I think really hits, and it's just really unique, and you really don't get much better than like McDonough like writing as well as like the way he's able to kind of like do drama and comedy like simultaneously, like making you laugh and cry, and just the way he writes his characters, I just think is super incredible. So yeah, I had this at 10, so I'll say yes.
And Jacob, what do you say about Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri?
Yeah, I think this movie is fantastic. I think you got a lot of great performances here. I think Frances McDormand absolutely nails her role. Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell as well. Sam Rockwell, love to hate him in this movie. And yeah, like JPO said, Peter Dinklage, even though it is a small role, I think he absolutely nails the screen time that he gets. Yeah, Martin McDonough.
Whoa,
I haven't seen Seven Psychopaths yet.
That's a pretty fucked up joke. That's a pretty fucked up joke.
Yeah, so, yeah, I haven't seen Seven Psychopaths yet, but I like Martin McDonough has nailed it every single time. I absolutely love all 3 of the movies that I have seen. And yeah, Three Billboards. There's an argument to be made. Is his best. So yeah, absolutely deserves to be on the list.
that Three Billboards is going to make the list. And just quickly, looking at what was nominated in the year of that in Bruges, because it would have been nominated for in the 2009 SAG Awards. There was definitely movies I would have swapped out to get in Bruges, and was like nominated. We had like Inglourious Basterds, which was one. Then you had an Education, The Hurt Locker, 9, and Precious. I probably could have swapped out 9 or Precious to get in Bruges in there.
Yeah, 9. Yikes.
Yeah, 9 got nominated. But I think 9 was also Best Picture nominated as well, wasn't it? Or was that I'm imagining that?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. But anyway, moving on. I'm gonna try for this one. I get it's definitely the most recent winner, but I think the movie is definitely great. And I'm going to bring out Oppenheimer. Look, Oppenheimer is like a great movie. It's definitely for me in contention with to be Nolan's best movie. And it's just one of those ones where you got a really stacked cast. Like I think there's about 70 people that had like speaking roles in this movie. While not all of them count because I think for the ensemble that you'd only count like a select few of them as the ensemble, but like with 70 people with speaking roles in that movie, I think it's an achievement to make them all work, and I think the movie itself is good. And it's one of those ones like I still don't know if it needed to be 3 hours, but I think it's still good. Like it doesn't feel like 3 hours at all though. So Chad, what do you say about Oppenheimer?
Yeah, this one's interesting. I was just waiting to see who was going to bring up Oppenheimer because I knew it had to come up. Just one, Best Picture. I do think it's pretty incredible. Like the first time I saw it, I wasn't on that wavelength, and I was like, "Man, this movie's so overrated." And then, like, I read the screenplay, watched it again, like I think 2 more times, and I feel like, yeah, it flows. Like it's one that you can just watch. It doesn't really feel like it's 3 hours. It's so engaging. I think it's kind of like perfectly written. Just the way it like jumps through time and tells the story in a very unconventional way. But really has like some like big like ramifications and like things. And then when you realize all the things that are like connected and stuff like that, you're like, wow, like he like wrote something pretty incredible here. So like on like a writing level and like filmmaking level, I'm not ready to call it my favorite Nolan, but it's up there. It's really up there. And you really can't like top this cast. It's got like everyone in it. Like he really went for it when he cast this film. And we were watching Trap, and Josh Hartnett is also in Oppenheimer, and he's pretty incredible in it. So yeah, I think it's a pretty fantastic movie. So I'll say yes for Oppenheimer for sure.
Jacob, what do you say about Oppenheimer?
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I really really liked this movie, but I haven't revisited it since I saw it in the theaters, and I don't know, like if it's got that rewatchability for me. It is a 3 hour movie, but it's a historical drama, and while I think the performances are really good, and I think Christopher Nolan is directing the hell out of this movie. And then there's some really good dialogue. Again, for me, like rewatchability plays a big factor. And I don't know if this movie has it for me yet. Like I will give it another shot. It's just carving out 3 hours when life gets busy. So I'm gonna give it a slight no, but if it makes the list, I'm not gonna be mad.
JPO, what do you say about Oppenheimer?
Well, I'm glad you're not gonna be mad because it's a fuck yeah for me. As Gandhi once said, it takes different strokes. It takes different strokes to rule the world. So yeah, I don't subscribe to the rewatch thing much. If it's comedies, maybe because I feel like that's part of what makes a great comedy. but what just makes it generally a great movie? Yeah, is Oppenheimer going to be a huge like popping in the Blu-ray or streamer every year? No, but that doesn't take away from it being just a fantastic sweeping movie here. David Bryan, you stole my other quote, which is going to be plus David Krumholtz is in it, and I'm going to vote for David Krumholtz all day, every day.
So does that mean David
Krumholtz,
Krumholtz is your favorite actor and not Ben Affleck?
it's
You
up there,
voted
man.
against
They're
Ben
close.
Affleck.
They are close. I know. I've said no to Affleck, but now I'm saying yes to Damon and Krumholtz. By the way, David Krumholtz, rare leading performance, Lousy Carter, currently on streaming on Hulu. My Krumholtz shout out of the week.
I mean, depending on if it comes up, there is another Ben Affleck movie in this pool, so we'll see what happens.
Go fuck yourself.
Chad, what's the next movie you're going to bring up?
Oh shoot, it's on me. I'm sorry. I was talking to my wife. Yeah, I'll go ahead with the next movie in my ranking. One that I
That's how it
absolutely
works.
adore. Yeah, there you go. Little Miss Sunshine is one that I absolutely adore. I remember the last time I watched this with my wife. We just had such a great time, and at the very end of it, I was like, "Wow, that's such a great movie." I was so glad that it went on to get nominated for Best Picture and stuff. I think it has an incredible cast. You have Toni Collette, and you have like an early Paul Dano, who has like one of the most incredible moments in the movie, and just performances. Steve Carell, it's just really, really kind of stacked. Alan Arkin and Abigail Breslin. There's so many great moments in it too. It's just a really great adventure film. There's sadness, but there's also a lot of funny moments too. So yeah, I think that's just a really incredible movie. So Little Miss Sunshine.
Jacob, what do you say about Little Miss Sunshine?
Yeah, I love this movie. I think this movie is fantastic. I think everyone that Chad mentioned is giving a great performance. I love Paul Dano's character. I think he's really cool. Steve Carell, I think, is giving a fantastic performance. I love the script. Yeah, it's a nice. It's a great movie about family, and I think it works 100%. So I'll give it a yes.
JPO, what do you say about Little Miss Sunshine?
This is a yes for me as well. It's on my list. My 12. I think it's really heartwarming, but very R-rated movie at the same time. They're not the best of family, but they are family, and that's what counts at the end of the day. Here, they're out looking out for each other. I think maybe one of my favorite Steve Carell performances as well. Big shout out to him. This is not Michael Scott. This is a totally different kind of performance. So, big old yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
I feel bad for Abigail Breslin, who peaked at 12 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I love Little Miss Sunshine. I was actually surprised to see that it won SAG Ensemble this year, especially when it was up against The Departed of all things. But that's not a knock on the movie. It's just I was just more surprised than anything. I love Little Miss Sunshine. I think it's great. It's an easy yes for me as well. So Little Miss Sunshine is going to make the list. Jacob, we go back to you. What is your next nomination?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the movie with the smallest winning cast, and I'm going to go with Sideways. I think Sideways is a fantastic movie. Paul Giamatti giving a great performance. Snubbed, one of the biggest snubs in my opinion. Thomas Hayden Church, I love their friendship. Then you got Virginia Madsen and Sandra Oh, and I think they give fantastic performances as well. I just think it's a fantastic movie, and I think this might be my favorite Paul Giamatti performance. I think he absolutely nails it, and so we'll see how this goes for Sideways. Maybe I hope it doesn't go sideways.
JPO, what do you say about Sideways?
Is 4 the limit for like ensemble cast? Because yeah, this is a really tiny cast. Outside of them and the other 2 girls, like there's really no one else in it as far as like meaty wise. You know, she got the girl he hooks up with at the diner, and then the guy who shows his penis when he chases them. I mean, yeah, there's not that many people that's in the cast. Uh, memorable scene. I believe the girl's name was Missy Dottie. I'm so weird for knowing that. Anywho, I love the movie. I love Paul Giamatti. I was a big fan growing up. You know, Big Fat Liar. So I was happy to see him getting like a leading performance here. Again, this pains me. I'm saying no to Ben Affleck, Tom Hanks, and it's a slight no for me as well. It's just outside of my list.
I mean, it looks like it looks like maybe 3 is the minimum limit for ensemble because in the same year, like $1 Million Baby was nominated. And the only 3 names that are listed on the ensemble was Eastwood, Freeman, and Strang. Like, while there are more characters,
I mean, you also got like Baruchel and shit though. Like, I could argue.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no,
I mean, really doesn't have 4.
Yeah, no, I get what you're meaning though. Is like, because I think SAG is weird with who they list on the ensemble, and that was they listed like the 3 people for $1 Million Baby. Anyway,
poor Baruchel.
But yeah, I love Sideways. I think Sideways is a great movie, and it's definitely one of those ones that I'm definitely going to go back and watch multiple times. I think it's really entertaining. So I'm going to say yes to Sideways. Chad, what do you say about Sideways?
This is a really embarrassing blind spot for me. I've never seen Sideways. I've heard so much about it, and I've come so close so many times to watching it. So close, so close that I own it on Blu-ray. I just never put it in and started it. I really need to because I think actually, you know what? I did watch like probably 5 minutes of it one time and something came up and I just didn't finish it. Just really, I'm so excited to watch this one, but I have to abstain, unfortunately.
I totally can't imagine owning a movie on Blu-ray that you've never seen before. I actually do own plenty like that.
Why do you own Winnie the Pooh too? Just watch it on Peacock.
Well, no, it's the first one. There's one of those ones like
Yo, the first one that's even worse. That movie's trash.
Well, it's more of a, like I'm gonna have of just blind buying movies I've never seen.
No.
And it's one I've been interested in. And like it really comes to the low budget like horror movies like that. It's like I'm sucking for them sometimes.
What's wrong with owning it? It's
oh god. You're the reason they're making them still. You guys are at fault.
I mean, look, it's not our fault. It cost little to make, but a lot of people went to see it at the cinemas. But anyway, unfortunately, Sideways isn't going to make the list. We're going to go to JPO next.
Nah, let's see if I get a yes. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to nominate Birdman or
No.
the Virtue of Ignorance, I think. Shut up, Jacob. We're not even on you yet. We're nowhere to Jacob's next pick automatically, unless I like it. One, yeah, it's you got of course the gimmick of looking like a one-shot movie here, but they do it very seamlessly. It's really fun and awesome to watch here. Again, it feels like just a great Broadway play. You're going from Ed Norton to a really good Zach Galifianakis. He's very more drawn in, but not in a boring way. He's still really entertaining here. To Emma Stone, amongst others, and of course Michael Keaton too is another one where I'm like, damn, I want to see this dude just like lead more. Like, you know what I mean? When you see movies like this and The Founder and whatnot, you're just like, oh man, you're reminded how good Michael Keaton can be. I love Birdman. I think Birdman is great. Yeah, and this is easy. Yes, Mizzle. And it's one of those ones like it's one that like that. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Keaton sort of went to them with this idea because like especially with this whole like the fact he played Batman and then and the fact it's just one of those ones like a lot of these actors when they get cast in like a superhero role like that's pretty much most of what they get known for a lot of the time. Yeah, I think Birdman is great. I think it's really entertaining, so it's a yes for me. Chad, what do you say about Birdman?
Did you throw it over to me already?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. I actually really like Birdman. I when I first saw it, I really liked it because of the gimmick. Like, I just like that style of filmmaking. I think it's really cool when they can achieve that, like with like 1917. Speaking of something that could have won a best ensemble, SAG ensemble is the 1917. But yeah, this one I think it actually uses it really well because I know that it had like a whole wave of people who are like, eh, I don't actually really like that one. But when I rewatched it for my picture this show, I really liked it, and I was like, but I think everything is working in this, and I love like what it has to say about like kind of being a has been and trying to make a comeback, and you know critics and stuff like that, and just like the constant like kind of jazz music and stuff like that. I think it's just extremely well made and just really fun, and cool, and everything. So yeah, I'll say yes to Birdman. I mean, I think this was my number 12, actually, like right on the cusp.
And Jacob, what are you going to say about Birdman?
Well, I jokingly said no when JPO brought it up, just because he's been saying no to everything I brought up. But now
Have I?
it's a just about. But now it's an actual no, and not because I don't like the movie. I do like the movie. It's just I have other stuff above it. I do think it's extremely well made. Yeah, making it look like it's one shot. I think that's just expert filmmaking. I think there's really good performances, um, and this is just a case of I haven't seen this movie in probably 5 years, where I've seen all these other movies, multiple times, and so yeah, that might not be, a criteria for some. It is for me, and it's just how I do things. I just haven't seen it in a while, and so had I given it a rewatch, maybe it might have been higher, but right now it's where is it? It's 17, just behind Chicago.
Chad, did you say yes to Birdman?
Yes.
Yeah. So Birdman is going to make the list, and it's on me. And yeah, 1917 supposedly was not nominated for best ensemble that year. But you're moving on to me. I'm going to try and see what happens because I realised my microphone was off for some reason. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to try for this and see what happens. I'm going to bring up Argo. I think Argo is a great movie. I think Ben Affleck did a really good job of directing it. And yeah, and it's just one of those ones where it's one of those stories I didn't know much about sort of going in. But it's one of those ones I think was a really good story, and I thought it was really interesting as well. So Chad, what do you say about Argo?
I'm really on the fence about Argo. I like it. I do think it's a good movie. I don't think it should have won like Best Picture, or anything. But I mean, it does have a really like cool cast. I think that is one of the strengths of the movie. So yeah, I'm really on the fence about it because I do like it, but I'm not like crazy high on it. So I'll give it a slight no and see where it ends up. It'd be okay on the list.
Jacob, what do you say about Argo?
Well, I'm going to give it a big yes. This is a top 5 for me when it comes to this list. Yeah, I think Ben Affleck directs it really well, stars in it. I think the rest of the cast is fantastic. I think the standout for me might be John Goodman. I absolutely love his performance. I think he's fantastic. Yeah, I didn't really know much about like the event itself, so you're seeing it, put to film. I thought it was just I thought it was really good. I think it deserved the accolades that it got, but I can understand why some people don't. I think there were a lot of good movies out this year. I mean, if I had it my way, Django would have been the Best Picture winner. But I think Argo is still a really fantastic movie. And now I'm curious if JPO is going to say no to Ben twice.
JP, what do you say about Argo?
Why you got to put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? Uh, I I can't do it twice, my boy Ben. He made a fantastic film. Speaking of Oscar snubs, this actually might be the number one Oscar snub. Oscars go, hey, you have the best movie of the year. You have one of the, they give it the picture of the year. They somehow go, but director, you're not even nominated. Fuck you, Oscars. My boy Ben deserves all the love he can get, and I hope him and J-Lo stay happy forever and ever. And if not, that's fine too, because Ben, just find your happiness. You deserve it. What are we talking about? Oh, Argo. Yeah, Argo's a yes.
With that, Argo is going to make the list. We've got 2 spots left. Chad, what are you going to bring up?
Looking at my list, everything in my 12 has been cleared out except for one. So I'll go ahead and nominate that one. Black Panther. I think Black Panther is truly incredible. I don't know. I don't know what everybody's opinions are of the MCU these days. You know, it was incredible, and then it wasn't, and then now it's kind of like in this weird state where you pick like a movie every once in a while where you go, I actually like that one. But that despite that, there was a time where one of the MCU movies was nominated for Best Picture, and that was Black Panther. And I think Black Panther is just really, truly an incredible movie. There's like a couple things that maybe drag it down a little bit, like some of the weird effects that are used, but it's really just a really incredible tale that's told. A lot of incredible acting. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, another Chadwick brother out there. It's just really just an incredible cast. It's just beautiful. It's really funny. It's just sad, at different times. An incredible villain. Just looks so good. I feel like Black Panther was a true standout. And I've always been kind of a defender of it getting a Best Picture nomination, despite a lot of like people saying like you can't nominate an MCU movie. It's like, well, sometimes they're really incredible. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Jacob, what do you say about Black Panther?
There's 2 movies in my 12 that haven't been discussed, and Black Panther's one of them. I think Black Panther is fantastic. Yeah, I think you got some really good performances here. I think you got a villain that you understand where he's coming from, and I think when you have a well-written villain, I think that just makes your movie even better, because I think that's a problem in the MCU sometimes, is that they'll write the heroes and some of the other supporting characters really well, and then the villain's like, all right, you're gonna be defeated anyway. But I don't think that's the case here. I love the world of Wakanda, all the technology. I think it's really fantastic, and I don't know if she's one of my favorite actresses, but every time I see her, I think she's fantastic. Angela Bassett, I don't think she can do no wrong. And when I found out she was like 65, I thought that was a lie. She does not look 65. I thought she was like maybe early 50s. Whatever skincare routine you are doing, keep it up. I think Black Panther is fantastic. I'm going to give it a yes.
JPO, what do you say about Black Panther?
I'm feeling very Natalie Imbruglia right now, which is torn.
That's the joke I use all the time. Good job.
Hey, I love it. See, yeah, great minds. It's a great movie. I'm very excited to see that an MCU movie actually got love at award shows. You know what I mean? For one, so that's really cool. It shows you the power of the movie that it got nominated, let alone won. It's right on the cusp. If you so it's obviously I don't mind if it gets in. Then again, maybe I do want it in. I think I do want it in. I'm gonna say yes. I'm not even leaving it to you, Malcolm.
Yeah, no, I was about to say it's I'm like there's a few that said no that it wouldn't have gotten because I do like
Ah,
I do like Black Panther. I think it's good. But once again, I've got other things that are higher in it. Like there's two movies in my personal top chart haven't been discussed yet either. But yeah, and it's one of those ones like looking at what was nominated for on Best Ensemble. Like, while Black Panther does have some probably the more impressive ensemble, I argue that it should have either been Black Klansman or Stars Born that won Best Ensemble personally. But that's not a knock on the movie. I do think it's good, and I get why it probably won Best Ensemble because it's got the more bigger, like well known ensemble. That makes any sense. But Black Panther is going to make the list regardless of what I say. And Jacob, we're going to go to you for your next nomination. One spot left.
Yeah, and much like Chad, I now have just one movie in my 12 that hasn't been discussed, and that is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I loved this movie. It was another one that was word of mouth. I was like, oh, it looks interesting. I'll get to it, and then people were just loving this movie. They were loving the performances. They were loving the action. Ke Huy Quan coming back, like I think he's giving a fantastic performance. I think this movie deserved all the love that it got. Wasn't my personal favorite of the year. I was pulling for Banshees. I absolutely love that movie. But if not Banshees, this is a close second. I think this movie is fantastic, and the fact that they were able to engage me with rocks. I mean, come on, that's just really good filmmaking, and I think it's a sign of a really good movie. I hope it makes it. Please, JPO.
JP, what do you say about everything you've read all at once?
well, here's the sad truth, Jacob. This is the fight I was having with Black Panther because I had two above Black Panther originally, and this was one I had above. But I have one even higher than this, which means now that Black Panther's in, I have to say no to this because I have one more that's higher. So it's the slightest of no's. If my perfect list had gone through, it would have been a yes.
Um, yeah, I love everything you all once. I think it's a really good movie. It's just once again, just like Jacob's, like the whole rock scene was really engaged. And honestly, it's good to see we're going to be seeing more of Ke Huy Quan. There, because like next year he's got 3 movies coming out. Because he's in that
He's a
Love Hurts.
leading man in one of them. Yeah.
And he's going to be a voice in Zootopia 2, and he's also in the new Russo brother movie, The Electric State. But yeah, but it's a really fun movie, and it's just a really good multiverse movie too, as well. So I'm going to give a yes to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Chad, what do you say about Everything Everywhere All at Once?
This is really strange because I was sitting here like I had to go back and check the list and be like, wait, no one's brought this movie up, but like this was the movie that everybody just could not shut up about for like an entire year. Like literally like entire year since like February, March, until it won Best Picture. So yeah, actually like pretty much a year because that's when the next Oscars take place. But I like the movie, but it's not one that I've loved. I've kind of classically have thought this one's a bit overhyped. I know this is probably also break Carrie's heart because I know she likes that movie. But Everything Everywhere. But yeah, I'm gonna also give it a slight no because I just don't. I don't.
And
I
Chad
don't
is
think it's
sleeping on the
as
couch tonight.
I don't think it's as good as people say. I mean, it's fine. It's good, but
Jacob, were you
I don't
on Plenty
know.
of Fish? There's a new profile for Gary Webb that just popped up.
Sure, I'm crazy. And everyone just voted for my wife to replace me on the panel. Interesting. Okay. I'll give it a slight no. Sorry about that.
But unfortunately, Everything Everywhere All at Once is not going to make the list. JPO, we go to you. What is the one movie that's in your higher than this?
All right, so I'll shoot my shot for this. Hopefully, Jacob loved it more than Chicago because I believe he watched it, if I'm not mistaken. Jai Ho, everybody! Slumdog Millionaire is just such a beautiful, wonderfully done film here. I think it looks beautiful. Danny Boyle, who I think is a really fun, eclectic director here, just made a dazzling looking film here. Dev Patel, breakout for him. The kid actors are great here. Just it's a really wonderfully told tale. That's worth watching, and R-rated, but show your kids. It's that good.
Yeah, this is I do really enjoy Slumdog Millionaire. I think it's a good movie. This is just a case of I like other movies higher. There's a few other movies that haven't come up that I've got higher than this. That I kind of want to shoot my shot for if this doesn't make it on. But so yeah, I'm giving it.
So not Jai Ho, but Jai No.
Chad, what do you say about Slumdog Millionaire?
I'll give this one a slight yes, actually, because I'm looking like through the rest of the slate, and I think there's still a few that could be good additions. But yeah, I think this is a pretty solid recommendation or nomination. I don't remember it a ton, but I remember like it really hit when it hit back in the day. And I do remember really liking it. So yeah, I'll go to say yes. I like this one. And Dev Patel is a great actor. I love him a lot. So
Well, Jai Ho with us, Jacob. Jai Ho.
Jacob, what do you say about Slumdog?
I'm sorry, JPO. I can't. I watched it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. There was nothing that like brought it to that next level for me. I do think there's some good performances. It's not the movie I thought it was. Like I actually knew like little about this movie. I thought it was just about this kid who was on a game show, and then like something went awry at the end or whatever. I didn't realize that he was going to be like.
It's because I said no to your movies, huh?
But it's a good movie. I'm glad I watched it. And I would recommend it. Like obviously,
can I retroactively say yes to everything, everywhere, all at once now?
But so it's a no. But like I liked it. I'm glad I watched it.
Slumdog's not going to make the list. It's background to me, and just looking at there's a few that I really love, but I don't know if anyone's going to go for it. I'm going to try for this one, see what happens. I'm going to bring up Traffic, and I think like Traffic is one of those really interesting movies that I think is pretty good, and it's one of those, and it's got a really good cast. Who's I want to say Don Cheadle's in there, but it's just and I think it's just a fun it's a good movie. I think it has a good sort of message about like drugs and all that. Like, because you got people like Michael Douglas, James Bond, Don Cheadle, like Luis Guzman is in here briefly as well, and Topher Grace. But Chad, what do you say about Traffic?
sorry. Yeah, I made a joke in our chat about this where I said, there's a better Steven Soderbergh movie that was nominated that year, Aaron Brockovich. I don't remember Traffic a lot. I do remember liking it. Like, I felt like it was kind of very similar to like a Sicario type of deal. And so, yeah, it stars similar
Which also has
actors,
Benicio.
Yeah. So I remember liking it, but I just don't remember it enough to really fully get on board with saying yes. Although if it makes it, I think it would be okay.
Aaron Brockovich actually wasn't nominated for Best Ensemble at the SAG Awards. Jacob, what do you say about Traffic?
That's more of a one-person movie.
Traffic kind of sucks. I mean, it slows people down. It makes people late to work. Thankfully, I walk everywhere, so no, I haven't seen it. Now, had Gladiator won for the year 2000, I think this is a different conversation. But I haven't seen Traffic, so It's not streaming
JPL,
anywhere, unfortunately.
JPL, what do you
Yeah,
say?
because you
about
don't buy
Traffic?
DVDs. Uh, I like Traffic, but it's relatively low on my list, so it's a no.
Unfortunately, Traffic's not going to make the list. Chad, we're going to go back to you.
All right. I'm gonna bring this one up. I think it's funny. This is another debate argument that Malcolm and I have all the time concerning this movie. And I'm gonna bring up Spotlight. Because I will always say that I think Mad Max Fury Road should have won over that movie for Best Picture. Although, and I think there's an argument for Ensemble for Fury Road as well. But I think this one also has an incredible ensemble. Much like the Trial of Chicago 7, I think this is a really good kind of like, court case like reporting style of movie. Well, I actually don't think you really see much of a court case or anything, but I do think like how it presents its information is really good, and what it has to say and like the actual subject matter of what it's talking about is very deep. And really opened my eyes to stuff, because I knew like little bits about like what actually happens, but not the full story. And I think this is a really incredible way to tell it. And yeah, the cast just rules. So Spotlight. It was like my number 14, so it's just right outside of my 12.
Jacob, what do you say about Spotlight?
I agree with everything that Chad said about this movie. However, I have it just a few spots lower, so I'm gonna give it a slight no, just because now that there's one movie that I'm hoping maybe I can champion and get on the list. However, if Spotlight makes it, I'm not gonna be upset at that either, because it's a fantastic movie.
JPO, what do you say about Spotlight?
I'm going to give it a yes. There's two movies I would have said yes to. This is one of the two. So, yes.
I love Spotlight. I think it's a fantastic movie, and you know what wasn't nominated for Best Ensemble that year? Mad Max Fury Road. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Fury Road's a good ensemble. It's a good ensemble,
Yeah.
nominated ensemble.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And honestly, I don't even remember having no argument with Chad on about Spotlight.
We fight so much. People say that to me. Remember we fought about this? I'm like, I don't know. I fight with a lot of people about a lot of things.
I wouldn't really call it fighting. I would just call it disagreeing. But anyway,
on the topic of 2015 JPO, I mean, this answers your question. Beasts of No Nation was nominated for ensemble, and it's only got 3 credited cast members.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's mostly the girls and like the mom and like labor.
Yeah, and I mean, at least, and one of those nominated ensembles like Idris Elba, the other, I don't know if they've done anything. I mean, they've probably done in there, but yeah. But it's good to see that Trumbo got nominated for this year, though. That's actually a pretty good movie. But anyway, but I love Spotlight. Just because looking at sort of what I've heard in it, I don't honestly think they've got a chance of. I don't think anyone else would go for them. So I'm going to say yes to Spotlight. So Spotlight is going to make the list. Jacob, what are some honorable?
Yeah, so I had two above Spotlight, and I'm not upset that it's making the list, because I think it is fantastic. But had it gotten back around to me, I would have tried for The Birdcage. I think The Birdcage is a fantastic comedy, and then the other one would have been Hidden Figures. I think Hidden Figures is really good.
JPO, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
That's funny. Guess what? If it had gone back to you, I would have said yes, Jacob. The other movie besides Spotlight that I would have championed for the next two is The Birdcage. I love The Birdcage, so that would have been my next one. After that, The Help I think is really good, plus a really good ensemble. And then another director that always has good ensembles, David O. Russell, American Hustle, I would have maybe mentioned too.
Okay, I definitely misjudged the love for The Birdcage, because I probably also would have suggested
Number 13.
But I would have brought up The Help. I think The Help is a fantastic movie, and Look, and say what you want about like the movie and all that. I do think Crash is a good movie. Like even though you may not think it deserved to win Best Picture, but I think the movie itself is solid. Chad, what's some honorable mentions that you had?
No, real quick too. Yeah, Crash is a good movie. Whether or not, Oscar nominated, that's a whole other thing. But you can't call that a bad movie. Fuck off if you do. I think, but not so mean.
Well, I think Crash is a bad movie, but that's
Fuck off,
beside
Chad.
the point. All right, bye. Just kidding. I can't believe you guys. I can't believe you guys didn't get everything ever on this list. That's so weird. Like what? What? You guys are crazy. Anyways, no, but the ones that I would have maybe brought up next would have probably been either The Help, because I do actually like that one too, and Gosford Park. Even though I didn't love that movie, I think that like Ensemble is like next level. Like holy crap, like everyone's in that movie. So I probably would have got not for like movie itself, but just ensemble cast. I probably would have gone Gosford Park. But yeah, this is a really good list though.
Yeah, but and in the chat, like Leo brought up the Full Monty and the King's Speech. He also brought up Gosford Park as well, but so already mentioned that in non-mentions. But it's time to rank these and how we go around ranking. We'll sort of vote on what we want at like 12, 11 onwards. But Chad, what movie do you have at 11?
At 12,
yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Trial of Chicago 7.
Jacob, what do you have for 12?
A Spotlight.
JPO, what do you have for 12?
Coda.
I've got a 4-way tie off the bat because I've got Parasite.
Oh.
But so go to the chat to break the tie. But we've got Parasite, Coda, Trial of Chicago 7. I've forgotten the other one already. Spotlight. So it's it is going to be Trial of Chicago 7. Gee, I wonder who Real Pro Wrestling is.
Oh, wow. Thank you, RPW, for having my back on the nomination. They're a really good company in Fort Myers, Florida.
But Leo got in first. It's going to be the Trial of Chicago.
I heard they mistreat their wrestlers if they don't do what they want.
Well, maybe they should do what they want, and they won't have to.
But on that note, Jacob, what do you have for 11?
I'm going to stick with Spotlight.
JPO.
Coda.
Parasite. Chad.
Spotlight.
Spotlight is going to be at 11. JPO, what do you have for 10?
Coda.
Sticking with Parasite. Chad.
I think I'm on. Shit, I'm between two. I'll go Birdman.
And Jacob.
I was also going to go with Birdman. Gotta start with the movies I said no to. But for number 9, I'm sticking with Parasite. Chad, what do you have for number 9?
I'll go Argo. And if you want to say Argo, fuck yourself. That's fine.
Jacob, what do you have for 9?
Shoot, I'd go Oppenheimer.
JPO.
Coda.
Got another for a try again. We've got Parasite, we've got Coda, we've got Oppenheimer, and we've got Argo. Chat, which one of those four do you want at 9?
Don't listen to that real pro wrestling guy. He's a dick.
Although in this
Hey.
both.
Don't listen to Brian either.
I hear the PSCO has some great movie trivia though.
Yeah, ASAPs. In 30 minutes, check out the return of picks and lists.
Hey, I'm just happy you made the list.
But Chad, what do you have for 8?
That Coda thing broke my heart, but I'll stick with Argo for now.
Jacob,
I'll stick with Oppenheimer.
JPO,
Argo.
Parasite, but Argo is going to be at 8. Jacob, what do you have for 7?
I think I'll stick with Oppenheimer.
JPO,
Black Panther.
sticking with Parasite, Chad.
Black Panther.
Black Panther's
They're
gonna be
they're in cahoots, and this is bullshit.
We just know how the rankings should go.
I
Who got
will
the right
not
rankings
stand for this.
until we disagree.
It's funny. Black Panther is number 7 on my list too, but like, there's movies that are still available that I have lower than it.
But Jacob, what do you have for 6?
Oppenheimer.
JPO,
Little Miss Sunshine.
Parasite, Chad.
Three Billboards.
Got a three-way tie. We've got 3 billboards. We've got Parasite. We've got Oppenheimer. And we've got Little Miss Sunshine. First coming to see, it'll break the tie. And at least 3 coming all at once. Aside from the PSCO, we've also got like Brian and Josh McCoy going Little Miss Sunshine. So it is going to be Little Miss Sunshine.
Wow, Brian
Jeez,
agreeing with
going to
JPO
Pearson, huh?
again.
Brian's a smart man. So is Jonathan.
But JPO, what do you have for 5?
All right, we're gonna fight me now, Jacob. Oppenheimer.
Parasite, Chad,
3 Billboards.
and Jacob.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer is going to be at 5.
I almost went 3 billboards just to be.
All right, throw him off the track, Chad. We can start agreeing again.
All right. Just to recap what we've got left, we've got Return of the King, Parasite, Inglourious Basterds, and 3 billboards left. I'm sticking with Parasite. Chad,
3 Billboards.
Jacob,
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna fight a losing battle, so I'll just say 3 billboards. I'll concede.
JPO.
Nothing to concede to. We need a tie. Parasite.
So we've got Parasite and 3 billboards. The first coming I see will break the tie.
I swear, if Brian says Parasite.
So we got both the first ones I see was Leo and Brian both see Parasite. Jonathan said 3 billboards, so Parasite is going to be at 4.
My number 1.
That moving on to 3. And Chad, what do you have for number 3?
Y'all cray. 3 Billboard.
Jacob,
3 billboards.
JPO.
3 billboards.
I would have been the weird out decided for Inglourious Bastards, but Three Billboards is going to obviously go at number 3.
It's only fitting.
But we're going to move on to number 1, which is going to be interesting to see how this goes, because there's only one movie. No one's said it all, and then JP, what do you have for number 1? Training.
Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
I'm also going Return of the King. Chad.
The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King.
Jacob.
Return of the King.
Ooh.
If that Return of the King is going to be number 1, Inglourious Bastards is going to be at 2. Finish typing out these. Just to recap our top 12 movies that won Best Ensemble at the SAG Awards. At number 12, we've got Trial of the Chicago 7. At 11, we've got Spotlight. At 10, we had Birdman, the really, really long subtitle. At 9, we had Coda. At 8, we had Argo. At 7, we had Black Panther. At 6, we got Little Miss Sunshine. At 5, we got Oppenheimer. At 4, we've got Parasite. At 3, we've got Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. At 2, we've got Inglourious Basterds. And our number 1 is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Thank you. I thought so. Yeah.
What does that guy know?
Yeah.
This is a smart cookie.
He seems high.
He might be. He's not at Corey's house. If he is at Corey's house, maybe. Corey's a bad influence.
With that being said, next week on Rankin, we're going to be talking about Hugh Grant.
Music and lyrics.
But Chad, where can people find you online?
Yeah, it's right down here. Cinema Chat is my channel. I do a show called You Rankin' with Me where I rank stuff. If you like ranking, like rank 'em, go check out that show as well. Right. JPO has been on there. Picture This is on a channel called the Dill Pickle Movie Network, where we just basically talk about best picture movies, and we're trying to go through every single one that was nominated, and it's a lot of fun, so check that out. And then check out my horror channel, which is Welcome to Primetime. I run with my wife, Carrie, my buddy, Hunter Chambliss, and we have a lot of fun talking about horror movies. We're just doing our 61 days of primetime. We're not done. We're dipping into November because a lot came up and we just haven't had time. But we're going to finish, and we're really excited to get that done. Doing like some bracket series, stuff like that, talking a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and we're starting to prep our horror awards, our primetime awards, as we call it. So very excited to get into that. And thank you. As always, ranking is fun. Thank you.
But Jacob, we can be able to find you online.
Yeah, tomorrow you can catch me over at Lights Out Trivia, where me and my tag team partner Antonio are going to take on Joey and Jay to see who moves on to the next round. That should be a lot of fun. And then on Thursday, you can catch me on the Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast with JPO, Richie Goodacre, and Austin Howell, where we will talk wrestling, talk some Crown Jewel and everything that's coming out of there. And if you're in the state of Washington, come watch me be funny sometimes.
JPO, we can do find you online.
And you can book me for comedy, but you got to pay me a lot, and also chicken tenders here in Fort Myers, Florida. When I'm not performing for chicken tenders, which is more sad truth than you might think it is, because I have worked for chicken tenders several times. You can find me over at the Pierce Co. We have lots of fun over there, including movie trivia. We're about to do movie trivia, in fact, in 20 minutes. If you're watching this go watch that over at the Periscope. We're gonna have some fun. John Marr's the guest host, so I'm about to whoop that trick, as Tricky Williams once said. Plus, we do countdowns. Me and Barbara just counted down along with Chris Diaz, our top 10 2010s animated movies. Next episode will be episode 69. So that's gonna be fun. Pierce Wrestling, we got exclusive matches. We got wrestling trivia. Chris Katz will defend his title this week. He's like, "Oh, Roman Reigns, the man is unstoppable." If you think you can defeat Chris Katz with wrestling trivia, step up to the plate. And then other places help me co-write or write all of them. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, pop it up with the shop from time. And yeah, thanks for having me, Malcolm. Always a pleasure.
You can find me on David Productions as a host of Ancom every week. Next week is going to be Top Shelf Hugh Grant movies. On my own personal channel, I host a show called Spear from the Past. And we actually, last week we did WCW Uncensored. This week, I'm going to have John Marr as the guest on that as well. And we're going just the one pay-per-view before that in WCW Super Bowl number 5. And yeah, it's a pay-per-view, but you'll hear more of my thoughts on that later too.
We should do an episode with John Marr when we watch old John Marr matches. Legit.
I mean, if there are any on pay-per-view, then maybe. But
rules.
But anyway, you can also find me on Tournament my fights this week. Doing Scots versus Cohen's, and yeah, but you can find me popping up here and there, and yeah. So, but until next time, have fun ringing shit.
Take her away, Ian.
Yeah, take it away, Ernie. It's going to be a bumpy ride.